going on, NRW peeps? It is your boy Glenn Lawrence, the BlerdDad himself, and I am back with another whispering review. And what do we got this time? Snake Eyes, and not the one with Nicolas Cage. Although, it might have been better if Nicolas Cage was in it. Paramount was nice enough to give us some digital downloads, so I'll be going over some of that content too in this review. A first for me. Now, don't think because I got some swag from Paramount in the form of this digital download that I'm going to go easy on the movie. I just can't do it. Snake Eyes is the third installment of the G.I. Joe franchise. And let's just say the franchise has been struggling a little bit. Not even The Rock could make this franchise solidified. He tried, and he was close, but Snake Eyes just pushed it right back over the edge. They're trying to really restart the franchise with this pivotal character. It stars Henry Golding. It's directed by Robert Schweinke? Schweinke? Robert. It's directed by Robert. Also in the film, Andrew Koji, Hiraku Abe. There's some actors in here. Listen, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This was tough. I'm not wearing this bandage on my head for no reason. Snake Eyes is a little hard to watch. It starts off and Snake Eyes himself witnesses his father get murdered, which is traumatic. The bad guys then notice that Snake Eyes is in the house. They send a henchman after him, and after a quick scurry into the yard, the henchman says, "Sorry, boss, lost him." Lost him? Have you ever seen any martial arts movie? You never let the kid get away. This is where I knew the movie might have some issues, because a lazy henchman is indicative of lazy writing. The thing that really made me question it is when the bad guy is like, "All right, I roll the dice. This is how I make decisions." And then the dad rolls Snake Eyes. And then he kills him. And then his child decides to take on the nickname of the thing that killed him. Like, if my dad died from cancer, I wouldn't say, "Call me melanoma." Also, how is that a good way to make decisions? You do a coin flip. You don't roll dice. What if he rolled a 3? What does that mean? You get to walk? What if he rolls a 6? Do you give him all your money? What if he rolls a 5? Stay alive. Now, after this brief introduction, we get a scene where Snake Eyes is, because he's already taken the nickname Snake Eyes. He just doesn't care anymore. He's like, "I'm Snake Eyes. That's it from then on." It's not like he earned it. He just said, "I'm going to be Snake Eyes. Everyone calls me Snake Eyes. Just call me Snake Eyes." So we meet up with Snake Eyes, and now he's a pit fighter. He just wants to get his ass kicked all the time. I don't know where they hold these pit fighting events, but this is a crazy one, because not only do they fight, people start throwing machetes and hammers and chains into the ring. It's a crazy event. It's like UFC times 1,000,000. So after quickly winning that fight, he meets up with this guy who gives him a pretty sweet deal. He says, "I am going to introduce you to the guy who killed your dad. Just come work for me." Which is a pretty sweet deal. You get some revenge. It's like, yeah, I've been pit fighting all my life, get my ass beat. I took on the stupid nickname, and now I'm going to meet the man who caused all this. So he goes along with him, and the guy who's like, "Yeah, I'm going to introduce you to the guy who killed your dad so you can get some revenge." And then he makes him a fish cutter in his warehouse. I guess he had to wax on, wax off, cut fish before he learned to, exact revenge. Quickly from there, he decides, "I'm going to forego that entire mission, right, to kill the guy who killed my dad, because he wants me to kill another person for him." Like, I mean, you're in the business of killing. You kind of got to start somewhere. But he turns his back on his business partner, and he makes a new business partner. Luckily for him, this business partner is rich. He saves his ass, and then they go take a jet to Tokyo. Tokyo is where I felt a little bit of, there was going to be some problematic things in Tokyo. The number one thing that told me is there's just a random scene of girls dancing in between them traveling to Tokyo. There's no like, they're at a club or anything. It's just girls dancing. Just 3 images of girls dancing, and then they're in Tokyo. I guess they're trying to show that we're going to be in Tokyo and girls dance here. One other thing that this movie suffers from is the action sequences. I love a good action sequence. I love martial arts sequences. What I don't love is not being able to see what happens. And that's what happens when you throw 1,000 different henchmen on the screen. There's way too many henchmen. You can't tell what's going on. And they're just swinging their arms. And you're like, oh man, I think that was cool. Oh, that looked like a cool move. But you really can't distinguish what is happening. I think it's supposed to be cool. They're supposed to be badass, but I really like it when you can slow it down and you have 1 or 2 people fighting at a time. Now, this may be me. Maybe I'm an old geezer and I don't get it. The kids like to have 50 different people that they're fighting. But I could tell that it was a problem because a lot of time in these fight scenes, they just barrel into the crowd. If I had to describe the fights, I would say they're a man standing against a screaming horde of henchmen running at them. But not to fear, because they have a secret weapon, they run into the horde and knock them down. Now, that's not to say there are some very, very cool scenes, but I just think we've seen better, and we probably expect better from a Joe movie. Joking. We don't expect anything from Joe movies. It also felt very much like an Americanized version of Tokyo. Now, I don't know. Maybe I've never been there before. Maybe this is what it like, but it just felt like I'm looking at Tokyo through an Americanized. We've seen a lot of authentic things recently in film, and this one did not have the authentic touch that I would have liked. Yes, they're wearing the garb. Yes, they're doing bows and type of things, but I just felt there was something a little bit off about their depiction of what Tokyo was like. Oh, almost forgot. Oh, the craziest thing. The movie's called Snake Eyes, so of course you have to have snakes. At least one snake, right? No. Let's ratchet it up. Let's have 2 snakes. We'll make them giant snakes. And that's going to be one of the trials for Snake Eyes to actually become Snake Eyes. That's right. He's got trials because when he goes to Tokyo, they introduce him to the family and they bring him in and say, you have saved my son. You be part of our clan. We will teach you to be a great warrior and a ninja. Did I say 2 snakes? No. We're going to do 3 giant snakes. That is how dope this movie is. We're going to have 3 giant snakes. He has trials to become a ninja, and most of the trials involved him deciding just not to fight. It's like, the true way to win this is to be passive aggressive. Henry Golding is the title, he's the main guy. I would say Henry Golding's kind of like the Far East Channing Tatum. What's pretty wild to me, though, is that after he's been ingratiated into this family, he just turned his back on them. Really, Snake Eyes is just kind of like a double crosser. He double crosses all the time. That's what Snake Eyes do. Snake Eyes are crossed. I don't know. There's some fight scenes at the end. It culminates with Snake Eyes being let back into the family, but the actual grandkid who brought Snake Eyes into the family is then excommunicated because he used a rock to save the family. I don't know. Like I said, there's a reason why. I don't know. I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. There was a big rock and it caused fire. Don't know how it caused fire. It didn't shoot a laser. Things just spontaneously combust when you looked angrily and shook it. Like, I wish I had that rock for this film. Now, I know that I have been very critical of this movie. I really wanted to like it, but I think my frustration comes from the fact that this is the 3rd installment of a Joe movie, and they haven't quite gotten it right. They don't have the tone. This was tough, y'all. I really wanted to like it, but I didn't. This one, if I had to rank this movie, it's going to get 1 whisper. It's very, very close to a just go to bed. Oh, I almost forgot. There's an end credit scene where Storm Shadow becomes Storm Shadow. And he's very upset at Snake Eyes. But really, he should only be upset with himself because he brought Snake Eyes into the fold. Every step of the way, he kind of was like, nah, this guy's cool. Nah, this guy is cool. Never realizing that Snake Eyes double-crossed everybody in the film. And at the end of the film, he wasn't even blind. He didn't get blinded. He just wore a visor. He could take the visor off. My understanding was that Snake Eyes was actually a blind ninja. Maybe I'm wrong. Do I have the lore wrong? Am I an idiot? Don't answer that. But what you could do is like this video if you like it and you want to see more of this. You could also share it if you want other people to see the type of things that you're looking at. And if you really like it, subscribe so you get notified every time we drop one of these. Yeah, so I know that it's hard to make a movie and I don't want to just crap on the movie, but this one was tough. It sent me to the ICU. But I don't actually see you because I got snake eyes. That's not bad. That's not okay. That was bad. That was just as bad as snake eyes. So there you have it. That's how we felt about Snake Eyes. I really wanted to like it, but it gets a one whisper. I don't know. Check it out though. You might disagree. It might be the best action movie ever for you, but for my taste, Snake Eyes rolls a 6. That's backwards. Yeah, you know what I mean. Oh, I almost forgot the digital content. Now, after looking at the digital content, I was like, man, this makes me want to redo the review on the movie. The digital content made it kind of cool. There's some featurettes. You get to see how they made the film. I really enjoyed it. It made me want to give a better ranking to the film. But then I went back and watched the film and I said, nope, it earned the original ranking. The extras include a cool little sequence talking about the stunts, some background on the characters, and one of my personal favorites is a nice animation to open it up talking about the history of the lore in Snake Eyes. I would say the digital content was pretty solid. I really enjoyed that part of everything. While the movie left a little bit to be desired, after watching the digital content, I was like, yeah, it was really hard to make this movie. I should rank it better. You know what? Yeah, I'm just going to keep the ranking the same. But I will say, if you could get a digital download, the extra content is cool if you're really a big G.I. Joe buff and want to see more of how they made the film. All right, BlerdDad out.